Y'all saw the title. I'll be talking about 5 more games I've played and beat. If you're looking for fun games to play, or want to hear an insane man ramble about how good JRPGs are when they take up at least 40 hours of your life in most cases, then boy are you in for a treat. Speaking of which, number 1, Tales of Arise. Tales of Arise is another game from the Tales of series. God, that sounds so stupid saying aloud. This most recent entry was the 3rd game from the series I had tried, and the 2nd I had beat, and let me tell you, it did not disappoint. The game has a fast-paced action combat system which keeps battles enjoyable throughout. The characters, while not as good as other Tales games in my mind, were still great with funny dialogue and true growth during the story. The game itself, beautiful. The story, enjoyable with a slight rough patch at the end. Music, bangers. Playtime? 60 hours without doing much post-game isn't that long, right? Point is, Tales of Arise was fantastic and gave me a game that reminded me why I love gaming and JRPGs so much. Also, as usual, I have to mention, they're hot. 9 out of 10. Number 2, A Hat in Time. Let's lead with the fact that I am not a platformer guy. I've played Mario 64, got about 30 stars, and wanted to throw my controller all the way to Denmark because of the terrible controls. I was hesitant about A Hat in Time, but this game made me eat my words. The level design is unique and fun with great diversity in each area you visit. The hats in this game? Oh, mwah! Beautiful mechanic. Having to find yarn to craft hats was honestly pretty fun, and all the hat mechanics are very well implemented and reward you for getting creative in each level. Hat Kid is a funny and adorable main character whose sass and small bits of dialogue give her plenty of personality and made her extremely likable in my eyes. With plenty of customization options to boot and 2 amazing DLC, A Hat in Time earns a strong 8.5 out of 10. Number 3, Republic Commando. Do most people under the age of 18 even know what this game is? I barely do. I found my original copy in the bargain bin at Staples, for Christ's sake. Republic Commando was a Star Wars shooter released all the way back in 2005, about 8 months before the much better than EA's version Battlefront 2 came out. I played both of these games as a kid and enjoyed Battlefront 2 much more. As an adult now, I went back and played Republic Commando again just to get some nostalgia. For a 2005 game, I was impressed, I gotta say. The graphics aren't great, but not terrible by any means. And the most important factor, shooting, felt fantastic. There are a couple weapons to work with in the game, and each felt distinctive and effective at what it was supposed to do. The squad-based mechanic of the game was good too, although I didn't give commands as much as the game probably wanted me to. The personality for the 3 clones in your squad is a great part too. This game genuinely has some great banter between characters, whether they're killing an entire alien species or just blowing something up for fun. The game wasn't perfect, or really even close to it. I had quite a few bugs during my run that were a struggle, but the overall game was a great time. This should be a must-play for any Star Wars fan. 8 out of 10. Number 4, Earthbound. Haha! Fuzzy pickles, am I right, gamers? What the fuck?! Earthbound! Yeah! I will say, Earthbound is definitely not a game made for everyone. The characters don't truly get fleshed out much, progressing the story can be really confusing at times, and the game itself is really just odd in so many ways. Normal RPGs, you fight dragons, monsters, maybe robots. Well, Earthbound does have that last one at least. But in Earthbound, you fight middle-aged men, fungus, really fancy morph suits, and some fat kid. This game couldn't possibly be that good, right? Wrong! Earthbound's story is a great one to say the least. Absurdity is a defining factor of the story, but accepting that fact is the fast track to enjoying Earthbound. An eraser that erases erasers, a monkey who flies using bubblegum, and a trout yogurt machine highlight some of the weirdest but most entertaining parts of the game. Not to mention, this adventure all started with a random bee coming out of a meteorite to tell you the future. Confused yet? Good. Earthbound is a game that cannot truly be appreciated by just listening or watching. It is a game with some low lows but incredible highs, and a solid middle ground that I cannot recommend enough. For those wanting a different and good turn-based RPG, Earthbound gets an 8.5 out of 10. And number 5, Fire Emblem Echoes. I went 9 entries on these lists without a Fire Emblem. I think that's pretty good, honestly, but I am a Fire Emblem nerd, so no one can escape my wrath forever. Fire Emblem Echoes was the 3rd entry in the 3DS Fire Emblem era, and the last main game before Three Houses. Being sandwiched between the highest selling FE game in Fates and Three Houses, which is one of the most popular, Resigned Echoes to be quite overlooked. It deserves far more attention than I can give in this short video because this game has a case to be the best 3DS Fire Emblem. Echoes is almost fully voice acted, a lesson applied to Three Houses because of how great it turned out here. The time rewind mechanic from Three Houses also appears here as Milla's turn wheel. Echoes not only had these features but two other fantastic ones. Dungeon crawling, where you could find treasure and engage enemies to gain additional levels, and a unique item system where every unit had their base weapon but could receive boosted stats and abilities with certain items in their one singular slot. This meant more strategy for the player while not truly being unfair. Echoes is a game with fantastic characters, beautiful visual and audio work, and a different approach to Fire Emblem strategy while still being comfortable for players to jump into. Echoes gets a strong 9 out of 10 from me. And with that, we're done here. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!